Hello and welcome to Baloogan Highlights Electronic Warfare, where I'll be highlighting the electronic warfare features of Command. So here we have a North Vietnamese SA-2 battalion. It's 1967. They're relatively not very, they're not very good missiles, but when employed en masse, they certainly are. They've got, each one of these battalions has 6 SA-2 Guideline rails, as well as 2 radar stations and 4 anti-aircraft guns. So it's actually quite an intimidating amount of anti-aircraft power. I've got 2 attack waves, one comprised of a Skyraider with a Mark 8 tactical strategic bomb, and the second wave, which is 3 Skyraiders with the same bomb, and 2 EA-1 Skyraiders, the electronic Skyraider, which will be providing electronic support. Right off the bat, these guys do not have their sensors on. Their offensive ECMs on. Neither one of them. And so we're going to see what a single A1 Skyraider will see when it tries to invade enemy airspace without any cover whatsoever. I've turned off automatic evasion because I'm simulating a nuclear strike, and usually you'd want to complete your mission first. Use nukes has already been turned on. So I've targeted the middle SA-2, and we're inbound on the target, and we're going to go to full throttle. So we're cruising at 28,000 feet versus 5 SA-2 battalions. I'll just show you what it looks like from the other team's side. So they can track everything. They've got very long radar range. There's a lot of them. There's nothing jamming them. These guys have good tracks on all these targets. Each site has 2 radars, an air search radar and a radar illuminator. The jammers are going to jam both radars, but specifically the radar illuminator. If an SA-2 doesn't have a radar illuminator lock on the target, it won't fire. It just can't. It'd be a wasted shot. I've also got the NVA side to engage non-hostiles, because most bogeys, like this scenario, calls for it. So as soon as we're within illumination range or within the DLZ, the weapon, the region in space where the weapons will be most effective, based on pessimistic shooting ambiguous targets doctrine, we'll see illumination radars click on, lock onto the target, and eliminate it relatively quickly. There, 2 illumination radars and 2 SA-2 Guideline missiles are fired at the target. Just going to time accelerate through the missile's flight. And so the Skyraider is able to outmaneuver all of them. 2 other illumination radars have clicked on, locked onto the target. And the USN side, we can see this radar illuminator and this radar illuminator. This guy has a targeting vector on this, and it should be able to, I'm just going to check the deployment, the envelope for altitude release. And yeah, 20,000 feet, we're good. Or I think this might be in meters. In any case, it'll get to the right height. So the guy sees the missiles, the pilot sees the missiles, and he's splashed. So the SAM regiment here, SAM division, is pretty well safe. Let's get him. So these 3 Skyraiders, as well as these electronic Skyraiders, are going to be flying inbound on the SAM regiment. They are going to turn on their radars and their offensive ECMs, and you see jam appears above this Skyraider. That indicates that it is jamming. So turn on this guy's offensive ECM as well. I'm going to assign targets. This guy, his target's that one. This guy, his target's that one. And this guy, his target is that one. They shall be assigned inbound routes until where the AI will take over tasking the aircraft. I'm going to have everybody hit full throttle, especially our jammers. So, what does this look like from the... I'm just going to quickly save it. This could go terribly, terribly wrong. Switching to the NVA side, they see that all their radars are jammed, and they still can track the targets. Jammers operate on different frequencies. These jammers, it's easier, well, usually the better sensor to try and jam is the illuminator, because some SAMs cannot fire without the radar illuminator being able to lock onto the target. So from the USN side, just going to do a bit of time acceleration. And I'm also going to merge the range circles. So one of the things you'll notice is that this guy's probably going to be locked on by a SAM down here because there's no jammer in the way. Jammers operate down in axes. So if, for example, if there was a SAM where my mouse cursor is, it might be able to get an illumination lock on this guy and fire. Basically, you need to have jammers down the axes that you're approaching from and going to flee from. A little bit more time acceleration. And so let's take a look at what this looks like from the NVA side. NVA is jammed. Going to wait until we get another good track of everybody, like this moment, and let's see why this SAM battalion can't fire. It says all directors are unable to illuminate this target. Insufficient reflection, no line of sight. Basically it means that he can't get a lock on this target. Same thing about that target as well. So their illuminators are being jammed. Though, there's a point where they're going to be able to burn through the jamming, and where the radar overpowers the offensive ECM. I'm going to switch back to the United States Navy. I'm going to get rid of the move orders for this guy, and he's engaged offensive. He's been let off the leash. He slows to, well, he goes to full speed, and he continues on the vector. So switching to the NVA, I wonder if this guy can strike this. It's still, he's being jammed. He's unable to illuminate the target due to the jammers. So, where in the previous attempt, in the previous wave, they were able to strike at this range and score hits and splash our bogey, splash our brave hero. But now, because we have electronic weapons, their electronic sensors are damaged. Ooh. And I just noticed, here we are. So now they're able to illuminate off axis because there's no jammer behind the aircraft. This illumination radar is able to gain a lock, and this one is able to gain a lock on this one as well. Plus, they're able to burn through the jamming at this range. They're able to achieve a lock with what they currently have. What I'm going to do for the USN side is turn off automatic evasion. I think I already got that. Yeah, automatic evasion, they're not allowed to do it. And so the missiles fly up. Hopefully they won't splash them. Switch back to the NVA side. Now this guy's once again unable to achieve a lock because I'll wait until I get a pulse where I have a good solution. They're unable to illuminate the target because of jamming. Let's try even up to force a launch. It's not even, an SA-2 is completely useless without a positive radar lock. And let's switch to the USN side. So the jammers need to stay pointed as best they can at the radars that they're trying to jam. And so this jammer is covering these radars, and this jammer is supposed to be covering these radars. And we're cruising it at 28,000 feet, engaged defensive. And we should see a drop. They've dropped, and we're going to get out of there. He's on RTB Winchester. So the bomb's going to take a few moments to get to its target. They're probably pretty big bombs. They didn't really make small bombs back in the 1960s. So we're going to see some fireworks, even if a couple of them are duds. So this jammer is going to turn. Jammers also operate pretty well out the back end of an aircraft, though 2 radar illuminators just locked onto this target because there's no jammer behind it. There's no jammer along this axis. That's an important thing to note with electronic warfare. Another nuclear bomb has just been dropped. Switch to the USN side. And so he's RTB Winchester, just getting out of there as best he can. And the nuclear bomb goes off. And takes out the battalion, no sweat. And the fireball completes blowing up. This atomic bomb's already been dropped, and let's have the jammers work on getting us out of here. This guy's RTB as well. He's dropped his one nuke. And nukes back in the day, there were some duds certainly, but seems that we were lucky, 2 for 2. Now the radar illuminator has been able to burn through the jamming, and this guy's inbound. He might be splashed. Hopefully not. Nope, he was able to outmaneuver it. Missiles back in this day were not nearly as good as today. I'm going to point this jammer. I think I was wrong about it being just as good out the back as out the front. I think, like for example, we've been illuminated this way, so I'm going to have this guy loop back quickly to cover this guy's escape. So, inbound on target. Just going to time accelerate. Nuclear bomb dropped. Circling out of the region. And nuclear detonation. The SAM division has been decimated. Job well done. This was the first Baloogan highlight. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. Bye.